Hello again, my name is Dawn and I am an interior designer, a DIYer and a property investor, and I basically deal with anything to do with renovations and design and stuff like that. So I did a video a week or so ago about bathroom design, and I thought it would be quite a good idea for me to just cover over IP rating again in a separate video and just going a little bit more in depth with that. This is all based on like UK regulations, so I'm not really sure what the deal is with other countries, but in the UK we have IP ratings for anything to do with lighting and electrics when it comes to bathrooms. And there's a way of sort of designing your lighting that complies. Essentially, if you try and put anything that's not going to comply to the regulations in the UK, your electrician will probably refuse to fit it. So, or they'll try and make you sign something, but I don't think that would hold up in court. So generally speaking, they won't fit it for you and they'll make you go and get something else. So the way that it works, well, firstly, all you have to really do is go online and search IP ratings, bathroom zones, and it will come up with an image, and it will tell you the zones and it will tell you the IP rating that you need to use for your light fittings or whatever else it is you're using. And once you've done your lighting design and you know the areas that you want to put your various light fittings, then you just work out what IP rating you need and go and look for fittings that are bathroom fittings that have the correct IP rating. Generally speaking, all my overhead lights that I put in, they tend to be like just as standard. I put in IP65, but it actually depends on your ceiling height. I think you can actually get away with, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say I think you can get away with non-IP rated if your ceiling height is high enough, but I wouldn't particularly recommend that with light fittings. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull up an image on the screen and then I'm going to talk you through it. Right, okay, so I've just gone online, like I said, and I've just typed in IP rating, zones, bathrooms, anything around that. You'll come up with a bunch of websites that show you these things, and I've clicked on this image and this looks just as good as any. Please excuse, I decided that now was a great time to put my dishwasher on. I don't know why, just when I'm about to record, but anyway, hopefully you can't hear that in the background. So here we have essentially your wet zones. So obviously anything in the shower is 1, anything actually in the water, so the tray, is 0. Bath is inside the bath is 0, just outside the bath is 1, and then 600 ml away from the bath either side is 2, and that is from floor to pretty much ceiling 2250. I think generally ceiling height is about 2300 in the UK, well at least that's what I've found. And you've got the same outside the shower, and then around the tap you've got zone 2, and that is 600 ml around the tap. So that gives you a bit of an idea. Anything within those zones has to be IP rated. You can sometimes get away with you can generally get away, so long as the placement's okay, with some wall lights either side of like a mirror or something. You do also have to be careful about heated towel rails if they're electric. They need to be outside the zones. I've been caught out with that before because I just presumed they were IP rated or had the correct IP rating. Anyway, that might have changed since then, but I'd just look into that. So if you are putting lights around a tray, so something that I sometimes do is I'll put some little marker lights maybe in the wall or a niche or something like that. If it's on the wall, then that's zone 1 and it needs to be IPX4, and if you are having it like submersible, so in zone 0, and that's the same for like a swimming pool or something like that, it requires a minimum of IPX7. So they have to be fully sealed and fully submersible, so there's no chance of getting water inside them. Zone 2, we are also IPX4. So like I said, my overhead spots, I tend to just, as standard, so that there's no arguments. There's plenty of light fittings that are like recessed spots that are IP65, and I just put those in. And then when it comes to anything that goes into a shower, I usually get like the little marker lights, and I just make sure they're bathroom safe, or they're exterior use ones. Most lighting that is exterior use, luckily, is obviously IP rated, pretty hardcore, because obviously it's outside. So that's a recommendation. Look for some outdoor lighting. They are getting a little bit better. Do you know what? I'm going to click off of this because it's boring. Not that my face is any less boring, but I thought you might like to see me as I talk. What was I talking about? Yeah, lighting. So they are getting a bit better. When I first started in interior design, it was really, really hard to get anything decent looking in bathrooms. It could be quite frustrating sometimes. But a lot of companies have realised that this is a bit of a niche that they need to fulfil, and a lot of companies now do some pretty decent bathroom lighting, which is really, really handy. So that is something very important to think about when you're designing a bathroom. Just make sure all of your lighting and electrics comply to these building regulations, because obviously they have been put in place because a few too many people have electrocuted themselves in bathrooms. When it comes to things like shaver sockets and stuff like that, obviously they make them, they deliberately make them so that they are sort of the correct IP rating. Do I want to get into this? So you can also get sensor lights, and again, you need to make sure that they're IP rated. So I call them a PIR. I forget, it's something infrared, motion infrared or something like that. But when you get those, they also have to be IP rated. So essentially, make sure you look online and use this image when you are planning your lighting. Check the IP rating of the various zones, and go and find light fittings that will comply to those regulations, because the electrician won't fit them if you don't. Anyway, I'm going to keep this quite short, so I hope that was helpful, and if there's anything that you want me to cover when it comes to interior design, renovation, DIY, whatever, then please do let me know in the comments. And please go and follow me on my social media profiles. Like, I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all those sorts of things. And also please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.